Hi everyone, I'm just coming back from my hike from yesterday's video, and I thought I would share a little bit more about myself. If you're curious why I chose to live off-grid at the age of 65 and what the heck was I thinking, right? And so I'm going to flip this around and show you some more of the park where I am. And again, I'm holding my phone. I forgot my gimbal. So I hope this comes out okay. But I always want to encourage anyone, no matter what your age, 60, 50, 65, even 80, who cares? Just go for it, because life is what you make it, and it's your life, right? That's how I look at it. So I'm going to flip this around, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about me and my past. And a lot of it has to do with why I love living like this. And it's not an escape. It is an embracing who I am. And I got that from one of the comments, which I love. Something about I was escaping the world. No, I'm not escaping the world. I'm escaping to myself. And I'm going to explain how that makes sense, hopefully to you. So I'm going to turn this around, and we are leaving this park. There's another one of these little houses. I tried to do a video in there, but I couldn't figure out how to set up my camera. And this is a cove. It does lead to the ocean, so it is salt water. And pretty soon I'll see some fishing boats out there. So now I, of course, had a turbulent life, which you are most welcome to read in my memoir. I see the elephant. But I always worked. I always was self-supporting. I never depended on anyone, even when I was married. And I never wanted to. I never felt secure in depending on someone who could suddenly become not dependable. And so my reason for that justified my constant employment over the years. And no matter what, I always did something. I always paid my own rent, bought my own groceries. Even when I was married, I contributed very, very much to the household. So my first job was a waitress because, of course, I had no skills. And looking back, that was a pretty cool job because I made a lot of money. I worked at a very, very elegant restaurant, formal restaurant. But the problem was I was terrible at it. I was so anxious, so insecure, worried, doubtful, that I just, one mistake created another and created another. And I stuck to it for 2 years and then quit. Thought, okay, this isn't me. So then I had the bright idea to work in the corporate world. Now, my reason for that was that I was looking for where I belonged. Where did I belong? I had no idea. I was in my 20s. So where I thought I belonged was in the various office settings where I found myself. And with each position I had, I developed a pattern of not feeling like I belonged anywhere. And I blamed myself. I thought, well, either this isn't the right fit for me or I'll find another one. And I never had a problem getting hired. I usually got hired on the spot because I knew what to say. And I didn't realize it at the time, but I was being who I thought I was supposed to be and not who I was. And so when you think that way, you just create more and more unhappiness in your life. So there I was, working in a marketing job, which I briefly mentioned in my last video, making quite a bit of money, married to a very wealthy man, drove my brand new Porsche to work, wore all the nice clothes, and so I thought, wow, this is great. Look where I fit. I'm in the corporate world. I guess I'm a success. Well, I didn't feel a success. And this might sound strange to some of you, but every morning when I got up to go to work, I felt like I was putting on a costume. I felt like the suits and the earrings and the hairstyles and my nails were perfect. And I looked at that person in the mirror and I thought, who is that? Is that really me? And of course I didn't know who I was, so I figured it must be. So I'm successful. Why am I miserable? Well, unfortunately, life takes many years to figure out. But when I ultimately did, I realized what so many of you may have already learned, and that is to never try to fit in to please others. Now, in all my adventures, I always sought out nature. I always sought out parks, beaches when I was a kid. I'd ride my bike and just go for hours. Just loving the wind in my long hair and the exercise and the fresh air. And I always felt very rejuvenated by all of that. But I was a cog in the wheel and I had to contribute to that machine by being an employed, successful lady. So I thought, okay, if I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, what's wrong with my life? Well, what was wrong with my life was I was living someone else's life. A stranger. I didn't know who I was. So, living out here in the woods, it's almost like a full circle moment for me, because this is how I felt when I was a kid at the park or at the beach. And after all the years of going from one job to the other, from one relationship to another, it's like that book, Are You My Mother, where the little bird goes from one bird to the other, not knowing where they belong. That's like a children's book from a long time ago. I did that, and I kept thinking, what is wrong with me? Well, nothing was wrong with me. And nothing's wrong with anyone who doesn't know who they are. Because you already are who you are. You're just not letting yourself be who you are. I hope that makes sense. And now that I'm out here alone in the woods, I have, I'm not going to say found myself, but I'm being myself. I'm finally being who I could have been all those years ago. And I'm not going to say I regret it, because I can look back and be proud of what I did and be proud that I worked that hard and I really did my best. And I have those experiences. But for any of you who just don't feel like you fit in, you just don't. So I hope you're not like me and just keep trying and trying and trying for years. Because where you fit in is where you feel happy. And where I felt happy was out in nature and hiking when I was a kid. I felt happy with my dogs. I felt happy at the beach. I felt happy in creative writing in school, and I threw all that away to try to fit in. So this is just another talk about my just incredible, I'm not going to call it an awakening, but the person who you really are is always with you, whether you know it or not. It's just a matter of letting all that other stuff go away and letting that real you shine through. And I wished I'd known that when I was 20. I wished I'd known that when I was 30 and 40 and 50. But I know it now. And now that I'm 65, no, I'm 69. I'm 69 years old. I still have time left to embrace who I am. And that's why I love living out here. Because there's nothing more rewarding than being your true self. And no matter what's going on in the world or what people tell me, I know who I am and I enjoy who I am. And that is such a beautiful thing. And you can do that too. So maybe it's living in the city. Maybe it's living out in the woods. Who knows? But please just be who you are and love who you are and treasure what you love to do, because that's what I think life is all about. So I hope this video made sense, and I hope you're all having a great day. Take care, everyone.